What is up, everyone? It is Chewburger84 here from the Alternate Reality Network and the Strikeforce Masters of Launch podcast. For those of you that would like to listen, we launch every Monday night, myself and Big Roy Awesome. You can find us on iTunes, you can find us on Google Play, Spotify, and if you would like to have your questions answered live on air, stop by the Strikeforce Masters of Launch Discord, and if you have any issues finding that, hit me up directly, Chewburger84. So this is a request that I had from earlier today, basically to show through what my current roster looks like. So I've played for 227 days. I started as global launch. So I have been here for a lot of the highs and lows of the game. I didn't get some of the experiences that some of the other content creators have in terms of, you know, some of the easier farms in regards to some of the, I guess, better bang for buck that there was in the beta. So I feel like my roster is not too bad, although my total collection power compared to a lot of other people in the game right now is going to seem very low. But that is actually very deliberate on my part, just based on an assumption that I have from another game. So many people who, I guess, have played the game for as long as I have and who have probably spent as much as I have. So I actually went back and looked at it today. There was about 2 or 3 months where I didn't spend anything on the game, where I was pretty upset, let's say, with Fox Next. But if I average it out, it's definitely around the $100 to $120 per month. I don't think I would normally spend that much money on a game like this, especially with some of the value of the offers not being where I think they could be. But as a content creator, you kind of want to stay at least a little ahead of the curve so I can offer some advice and insight. Hopefully that differs a little bit to some of the other guys that are out there. Excuse me. Okay, so we got 979k power, but I'm going to talk to you about why that's deliberately low right now. So we know Alliance Wars is something that's going to be coming to the game at some stage soon. And if you compare it to other games like Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, if they use a mechanic that's similar to that, the way that alliances are going to be matched up is going to be by similar CP power. So basically similar character power or collection power across the board. Now, what we saw in that other game is that alliances that deliberately stacked their decks, in other words, they had teams that were, only 3 or 4 very high level teams, were able to perform better than those that went really wide on their rosters and inflated their CP. So this is something I've done in 2 other mobile games before, and that's worked out really well to my benefit. The other thing it does is it really helps me be as efficient as possible and as streamlined as possible with my resources. And I'll show you a little bit about my strategy and my thinking for the current meta at the moment and what may be coming next. So at the moment, this is my main squad here, Fury, which if you've been watching my videos, you'll know that this is the team of 5 that rocks pretty much any of the content in the game right now. From Blitz to Arena to Raid and even in Dark Dimension, Fury for the most part makes this game a bit of a joke, except if you get some bad RNG on a mechanic thanks to this lady in the middle here, which is the Operative, which is the taunt stealing mechanic that she gives to Fury. So as you can see here though, my strongest team power is a little bit higher than what you see here. It's 176k as opposed to the 173. And that's because I actually farmed 1 squad to T12 before I went through on Fury. So I did have a T12 team before I started on the Fury squad. I do have all the characters in game right now except for Sabretooth and Ultimus. We'll show you that in a moment. I've deliberately kept most of my characters under 7 stars. About 2 weeks ago, I was only sitting at around 8 characters, but I've been bumping that up as we're seeing more events start to require higher star levels, but also because I want to start having a bit of a run at Ultimus, because obviously a lot of the guys seem to be running that way, given that there may be an update coming soon to Ultimus's kit, where he may be incredibly powerful. Now the Fury team, it does incredibly well in Arena, especially with the T4 abilities I have injected into my squad. Now, Blitz, if I had to say that there was a weakness in this game for me right now, I'd say it is Blitz. I only have, let's say, 4 to 5 reasonably high teams that I can run through that. 2 that are pretty much guaranteed to win every time at high level, 8.4. The rest, there's a little bit of RNG. With the way I play, I probably could invest a little bit more in a few more squads to do better in Blitz, but in most cases I can finish top 1500 comfortably anyway, so I haven't really felt the need to push further than that. So let's have a look at what we have in the roster. Now, as you can see here, we have a lot of gold and a lot of crystals at the moment, or cores, sorry. Now, for those of you that watched the last couple of videos, I did buy the gold offers from the 1, 2, 3 level, so during the Gold Rush event. So I didn't find that to be great value. If you watch that video, you'll see that I only got about 3.5 million gold from, I think it was 25 to 30 gold orbs. So I wouldn't do that again, but I have been keeping that stockpile there. The only teams I've been putting gold into has been Fury as I've gone up each level on the way up to 70. Now the cores, I have been stockpiling some of those from Arena, although I did buy one of the core offers this week, only because I thought Juggernaut was coming, and I was going to refresh the crap out of that guy, as opposed to buying some of his offers. But as we can see so far, it seems like that update has been delayed. So let's have a look at the squads that I do have from the top down. So no surprise that 4 out of the top 10 at the very, very top are all S.H.I.E.L.D. So I'm only going to go in depth in some of the characters that I've maxed out and why I maxed out those characters. So let's go back a little bit first to the OG squad. So whenever we say OG squad, this is the team of 5 that I spent most of my time farming before Fury became into the game. And that was Captain America, Yondu, Quake, Black Widow, and of course, I am missing someone. Cap, Quake, Night Nurse, she's right there in front of me. So this was my original raid team, this was my original arena squad, and it served me very, very well for a very long time. I farmed all of these characters every single day until I maxed them out, thinking that obviously 7 stars would give me some higher bonuses than they perhaps have so far. They're still a very reliable team. In fact, if you use a core 3 to 4 of those characters in most nodes in Raid, and even in Dark Dimension, just by subbing in 1 or 2 characters, you can do a lot of nodes. You know, the hand node, for example, on the right-hand side of Ultima 6, you use your core 4, you sub out Yondu for a Vision or even a Hawkeye, and that node becomes very, very easily doable because you have your speed up, your slow down, your defense up, your energy, your heals, and then you basically use your 5th as a pivot squad. Now, I didn't invest any of my T4 abilities into that original 5. I've used them exclusively for my Fury squad. I'm at the point now where I've maxed that squad as far as I'm going to, and I'll show you those T4 upgrades right now. Excuse me, I'm still trying to shake this flu, guys. So if we have a look, the very first T4 ability map that I put in was for Fury, so for the Director of S.H.I.E.L.D. upgrade, just because you have the extra chances of the assist, the fact that you get a little bit better of a chance of getting speed up on his turn for himself and the S.H.I.E.L.D. allies. I found that to be incredibly useful in regards to not only DPS, but also to obviously speeding up that team, so you can cycle through those turns faster. Now, you can also see that as of, was it yesterday? Yes. I have also now got Fury's Ultimate. So now we're doing that extra 40% damage down here for the agents. And you also have the opportunity to summon 1 more S.H.I.E.L.D. agent every time he does that ult. Now, when that becomes a second security being spawned, and you've got 3 on the map, including your existing, what's awesome about this is you have the opportunity to have 3 slows up on the board, as well as potentially having 3 stuns up on the board. That with the extra 40% damage, I have found it to be quite fun. I don't know if it's an essential upgrade, but I'm certainly enjoying it so far. And that would be, I would say, the 4th one that I would do. So the very first T4 I would do for Fury, and I did, was the passive. The second that I put into was for Assault. Now, I'm still trying to farm this to 7 stars. It's been by far the worst farm for me. I had a lot better luck with Operative. I did start Operative a lot longer ago, though, so that's made it a lot easier. So the second one I did was for Airborne, which gave me an extra 10% crit chance on this character, and of course another 10% crit chance across the board. Now I know that seems like it's pretty slow, but when you look at characters like Operative, for example, when she does her snapshot, her primary, and this works not only on when she does it, but also when she is assisting other characters, she can reduce their speed bar by 25%. This also works on the S.H.I.E.L.D. medic as well. So the more that you crit, the more turn meter you're going to remove. The more that Fury crits, the more energy you are going to farm as a battery throughout that team. So that's definitely worth it as well. So to recap, we have the first one going into Fury's passive, we have the second one going into S.H.I.E.L.D. Assault's passive, and the third one I put into Medic's passive. Now, what Medic's passive does, it takes it up from 30% chance on Medic's turn to heal the most injured ally for 20% max health, and also apply 2 regen for a normal minion, or 3 regen if it is indeed a S.H.I.E.L.D. minion character. Now, when you upgrade this to T4, though, it does it 50%. Now, with this team having speed up so often, this quite often means that you have this passive heal happening so frequently that it very much limits the amount of healing you actually have to manually do on this team. So having 1 out of every 2 turns on average proc that ability is sensational. So that was the third one that I did. Now, this would be the last one that I would do, but because obviously I hit level 68 before 70, I did this a little bit earlier, and that is S.H.I.E.L.D. Security Special. Now, this thing is huge. So when you upgrade this, it takes it by an extra 50% damage on the initial hit and another 50% damage on the secondary hit. Now, it doesn't seem like that much damage at 370% and 350% damage respectively, but bear in mind that with the Assault on the map, there is a very good chance that both of those abilities could and would crit. And when they do, if both of them crit, when he has an offense up shared into by Fury, there is not too much in this game that is going to stand up. I mean, in Arena, I've one-shot tanks that have had defense, that haven't had defense up. You know, I've taken out crossbones that are about to go off as a clutch. In this Star-Lord node, for example, in Ultima 6, you can almost one-shot the Thanos if you get both of those to crit as well. So for me, I have invested a lot. In fact, all of my T4 has gone into Fury thus far, and it has netted me a lot of rewards. It's helping me dominate in Arena, it's helping me dominate on the raid leaderboards, and it's helping keep me in check as well for the Blitz as well. So definitely not a team to sneeze at. Now, with Black Widow, a lot of people ask, as a global launch player, how did I get her? So number one, I did buy her first offer when she came into the game, which I think got me a 3-star, and it wasn't too expensive back then. I also went very hard on the Blitz that we did have with her. Other than that, I haven't really used cores to buy Widow, but I have had a lot of luck with her in Ultimus and also in some of the premiums when I bought some of those packs when they were very reduced in cost. Widow, I think her time is now, I guess, as a dominant, most desired character is starting to fade because of obviously the prevalence of the S.H.I.E.L.D. synergy team and the Defender S.H.I.E.L.D. Synergy team. Now, if you look at this top 10, it seems massive. Okay, you see a team like this and you think, well, why is this guy not over a mil? And you're going to see why as we drop down to the next 10. So there is a very significant drop as we come down here where most of these characters are between T10 to T11 only, with the exception of S.H.I.E.L.D. Trooper. Now, S.H.I.E.L.D. Trooper, I love the idea of this character. I love how much he counters, but I do wish that I didn't take him to T12 because now I'm just not using him. I'm finding that the medic operative combo in Arena just offers so much sustain. You just don't need the extra DPS from this guy. You have security that you can buy your time and use as an absolute monster to decimate everything. Spider-Man is obviously incredible. I haven't quite figured out which squad I'm going to put him in as yet, though I am contemplating a Miss Marvel Brawlers very soon. Thanos, I was lucky enough to get 7-star ready as of the last run. I just cleared over to Deadpool to ready to 7-star as of this week as well. Gamora was my, I guess Gamora and Crossbones I went to 5-star very quickly from my Blitz farm, but I haven't really taken them any further than T10, just because again, when they first came out, when Global Launch launched, they were very effective, but they haven't kept up with the rest of the game. I think you can run Gamora in a let's say a cosmic team with Star-Lord and Thanos and Rocket, and you can have some incredible fun with that combination of characters. But outside of that, I think that, yeah, she's lost a little bit of her niche, and there's so many different ways to counter Crossbones now as well, that I think that his time in the meta is starting to shift out. Now, it does pain me that in my top 20 characters that 2 of them down here are Kree. That is purely out of necessity. I still don't love up until now that we had to use Kree to unlock Fury, But look, it is what it is. I'm getting very, very close to maxing out the remainder of the Kree characters so that I can get that 7-star Fury, and that will just leave my buddy Assault here as probably my long unlucky farm as we go through. So, awesome, pretty good characters there. Look, Hawkeye has a bunch of versatility. I do not regret farming him as hard as I did when I first started playing the game. To give you an idea, when I first started playing, I was farming that OG 5 as much as possible, and I was also farming Medic, Hawkeye, and Operative. And that's because I knew from people in beta that Iron Man was very achievable with those 5 characters. So, yeah, I very much enjoy Hawkeye. For a couple of raid nodes, like the hand node, dude, he's awesome. He's very awesome. We got 3 more Kree in the next 10. Again, oh man, I cannot wait for that rework. I mean, if they end up reworking those Kree characters so that they become, let's say not meta, but very usable as a cosmic team, I'll be one very happy man. Vision, I had some good luck with some of his blitzes. I think I may have bought 1 pack at one stage. But yeah, I haven't cleared Mystique 3.9 as yet. It's pretty much the only content in the game I haven't, and that's because my Mystique team kind of sucks. Rocket Raccoon, I brought him up a little while ago to help out with the Blaster Challenge, but because I haven't really geared up a Cosmic or a Mystic team, to be honest, I'm failing pretty hard in using him. I have him in a Blitz team, but that's about it right now. You know, I used him to clear out a little bit of stuff in Dark Dimension if Fury wiped, but yeah, what are you going to do? Now, Doc Strange, when I don't have much happening, him and Cable are 2 characters that I farm very regularly, along with Black Panther, but I haven't really put any gear into those so far. Now, you're probably noticing once you get out of my top 20, okay, we've got T12, T12, and then we got a little bit of T11, and then it goes down to T9, T10, and then we have this cliff. All right, this is why my CP is so low compared to many people, that I have a lot of shards. I have a lot of characters that are 5-star ready or higher, but they're sitting at, you know, tier 8 maximum. You know, they're sitting at, you know, level 40 in some cases or below. And there's some pretty great characters that are stuck down in this little, you know, pit of dredge, if you will, that's just sitting at the bottom. You know, I love characters like Mordo. I love characters like Cable, Punisher I want to bring up at some stage soon, I think. But this is where it really starts to get into the dregs, okay, where I've barely invested in these characters, even though I could. The reason that I do this is very simple. When you get yourself a bit of a lead in a game like this by investing hard in a meta team, you get lucky, you call the right squad, and then you're able to stay at the top of a lot of game modes. What that enables you to do, if you're smart, is to be flexible. Now, I could have probably another 2 or 3 teams right now if I didn't take Fury up to T12 or 12.5, I call it, because I'm about as geared as I can possibly be without more orange, is that I can now wait and pivot to the team that I think is going to suit me best. You know, is it going to be Brotherhood? Am I going to be able to farm that in time? At the moment, I don't think I am. However, I have enough gear farmed now. So if we have a look up here, I've got 10 million gold. That's nowhere near enough for a full squad to level 70, unfortunately, right? However, what I have been doing for about a month now since I finished most of the farming is I've been stockpiling catalysts. I've been stockpiling all the various different types of catalysts as much as I can. I've been trying to get, say, 100 at least of every single one of these sub-items in Mystic, Mutant, Skill, and Bio. So that way, if I do have to pivot to a team, the only bottleneck that I should have is going to be gold and advanced basic catalysts. Now, I think I have enough for pretty much any team of 5 right now. Again, except for the catalysts, I know we need thousands of those to be able to make that shift across. Now, at the moment, I think that team is going to be City. I think it's going to be Defenders and Miss Marvel. I may do Defenders with Punisher just because I love the idea of Punisher for events where there are villains. Plus, it gives me another blaster. The reason I think I'm going to pivot to City and Defenders next is, one, I actually have quite a lot of farm into them. So we actually have Punisher here at 6 stars. We have a little bit further down, we have our Luke Cage is already 7 stars because obviously he is Blitz. We have our Jessica Jones. She's probably my weakest in there at the moment, where she has 5 stars. We also have Iron Fist, who is 6 stars. His Blitz yesterday really helped push those numbers up. And Daredevil, I'm now direct farming out of the arena store as well to get him to 7. So the fact that that team is nearly ready to go means I can pretty much click that into a T10 squad and be very viable in a lot of game modes. But why choose that? We've seen in the data mines that you're going to have very shortly some increases in the daily challenges. All right, we're going to be getting level 70 versions of those that require T12 to T13 squads to be able to participate. Now, the reason I want to do that as soon as possible is that gold is locked behind city characters right now. If I can get this city team up and running, if I can clear that gold event as quickly as I can, then basically that's sort of a power game strategy where it means I'm going to be able to have the highest income of gold possible from the day that that is viable. And that means that I can invest that back into other teams, and averaged out over 6 to 12 months, it gets me further ahead of, I guess, people in a similar situation. What it does mean if I make that choice, I think we all know that it seems like Brotherhood is going to dominate Fury. And if he does come into the game, that's going to hurt me for my core income from Arena. Is that a sacrifice worth making? At the moment, I think it is. But we'll have to wait and see exactly how powerful Magneto himself is, whether or not I may invest some money into unlocking him very soon. So as I was saying, yeah, pretty much from here, I leave most of my characters at what I call ready status. So I keep my farm, I keep my bulk, and then when I decide that I'm going to go, yep, this is the team, I've done the maths, this is going to give me the most throughput based on this event, this event, this event. I should have mentioned when talking about that city squad, obviously the block party event with those T4 materials, seeing how valuable they are, anything I can do to get more of those once a month or once every 2 months is definitely a great thing as well. So if we scroll down to the bottom, this is the part where a lot of people, I guess, would be a little bit disappointed with me as someone who, claims that they're reasonably knowledgeable about this game, is I have a lot of great characters stuck down the bottom here. Why are they there? It's because they're characters that I know are fantastic, but that I haven't been able to justify investing in them over other characters of a similar caliber right now. Star-Lord, believe it or not, that 5-star Star-Lord, I unlocked that the very first time he came around. I had every intention of gearing him and Rocket up, even though Rocket was not farmable at that stage. But there was just simply other characters to come that were better. So I pivoted my farming to Kree at that time, and obviously that paid off for me by getting Fury the first time around. Now, Mystique, I have been refreshing her node 3 times a day for the last week since I finished up a couple of Kree nodes, and I've had some really, really, really good luck with her. I'm averaging around, I'd say on a bad day, about 8 shards from that node. On a good day, around 16 to 20. I've actually had some really, really good days with her. I did buy her initial pack when she came out, but other than that, I've had some really, really good runs with her, and I only just reached that this morning. So she is now ready for Brotherhood event. I just need to wait and see whether or not I can actually get some love with Pyro. Now, Star-Lord, I know he's amazing. You're welcome to give me grief for not leveling him so far. I'd say once a week I look at him and go, I'm just going to do it, and then I see someone better. Loki, similar story. I was lucky enough to get him through the jackpot event. I had the 180 shards drop, and then with his blitzes, I also went reasonably well also. Scarlet Witch is a character I love the idea of, but I just don't know. I love the synergy that she has with Vision. I love a lot of the ideas of what she can do in a very debuff-heavy squad, but there's just something missing from her. I mean, she's unbelievably squishy. I just can't justify leveling other things over her right now. If I was going to pick one character like this to level right now, it would be Loki all day, every day. Venom, if he was a little bit faster, I reckon I would level him. In fact, I actually do love the idea of a Venom and a Scarlet Witch team up. I think that being able to lay out that many bleeds on some characters and then extend those bleeds even further as well as some ability blocks and heal blocks, man, you can have a lot of fun by being able to shut a team down with that sort of combo. So yeah, I'm still wondering what to do with some of these characters. Now, Sabretooth, I had one roll on him when I did my orb opening video, when I've been stockpiling for a while and saving those up. but unfortunately I've only had one drop since then. So Sabretooth is not looking good for me. I'm definitely not going to try and farm him deliberately out of those premium orbs. Miss Marvel is probably one of the characters I'm going to bring up shortly. I'm going to flip a coin somewhere in the next week, and it's either going to be a city raid squad with Miss Marvel as the 5th, or I'm going to be doing the Punisher. I'd love to do both, but I don't think I can justify the resources for 2 of them because I'm just trying to farm as efficiently as possible. Now, Ultimus, I have not had the lucky joy of opening a 15 on him yet, so all those 80s have come from 1s and 2s, but at least it's making some progress as we go. In fact, about half of that has been over the last 3 weeks, since I've actually been deliberately taking some of my toons up to 7 stars. And Ultron, I think everyone wants Ultron. That's why I've invested so much time and effort trying to get that Fury Squad to T13 before that comes around, because I think the people who get to Ultron first are going to have a significant meta advantage in this game. And I'm going to have a look at some synergies over the coming month to see if I do unlock him, what is going to be that best combination of characters that's going to feed into him. Is it going to be a tech team? Could you plug him into something like a Fury or a Brotherhood and he just goes off? I don't know, but I'm definitely going to look at that a lot more in the next month. So that's my roster at the moment. So yeah, you're not going to get that kind of roster as global launch as a free-to-play. So please, if you're playing as free-to-play and you look at this and go, why am I so far behind this guy? As I said, I'm openly spending probably about, a retail video game's worth of money on this every month. There were some months where I spent nothing. There were some months that I spent significantly more than that. So you don't have to spend it in this game. Again, if I wasn't doing videos in the podcast, I probably wouldn't spend this kind of money on the game. But at the same time, we want to make sure that there's some sort of value to you guys. So, look, this isn't normally a video that I would do, but it was requested by one of the guys in our Discord. And obviously, we are here to serve you guys and keep you happy. So if there is anything that you would like to have us do, stop by the Strikeforce Masters of Launch Discord, or alternatively, as you're leaving a like and a subscribe down below, feel free to leave a comment with some videos that you would like in the future. Now, I do apologize. This channel is probably going to seem like it's going to be a little bit quiet for the next 6 weeks. I'm about to go and travel across Europe with my wife for a well-deserved holiday, so I'm not going to be doing any recording while I'm away, although I will be playing every time I'm on Wi-Fi. So look, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope for those of you that are curious as to what some of the content creators' rosters look like, that was helpful. And yeah, I'm sure that we'll see you again very soon. Cheers.